You're sitting there thinking someone's gonna knock on your door and pull you out of the mess you're in. You think the cavalry is on its way. Let me be real with you. No one is coming. Nobody's coming to pull you out of bed. Nobody's coming to chase your dreams for you. Nobody's coming to fight your battles. This is on you. Always has been. Always will be. You wake up in the morning and you feel heavy. You look at your life and it's not what you wanted. You tell yourself, maybe something will change. Maybe one day I'll catch a break. That's a fantasy. Nobody's going to call you out of the blue with the perfect job, the perfect life, the perfect opportunity. That's a movie. This is real life. And in real life, if you don't move, you die in place. Stop waiting for a coach to push you. Stop waiting for a partner to believe in you. Stop waiting for friends to hold your hand. Stop waiting for motivation to hit you like lightning. If you keep waiting, you'll be sitting in the same damn place a year from now, blaming the world for why you never moved. You've got to be your own rescuer. Nobody else cares like you do. They've got their own storms to fight. You are alone in the ring, and the bell has already rung. Every second you spend hoping someone will jump in is a second you're getting punched in the face by life. I'm telling you right now, you have to take radical ownership. Even if it's not your fault, it's still your problem. Bad childhood, still your responsibility to fix. Someone betrayed you, still your responsibility to heal. Life punched you in the mouth, still your responsibility to stand back up and throw the next punch. You've got to stop making comfort your best friend. Comfort will kill you slowly and whisper in your ear, "It's okay to stay here. You've done enough." Comfort doesn't care about your potential. It wants you soft, safe, and forgettable. If you want something real, you have to get uncomfortable every damn day. And when the pain hits, because it will, you don't stop. Pain is a test. Pain is asking you, do you really want this? Or are you just pretending? Most people fold when it hurts. Don't be most people. Feel it, embrace it, and let it sharpen you into something unbreakable. Callous your mind. Show up when no one's watching. Show up when there's no applause, no reward, no witness to your grind. That's when you build the kind of mental armor no setback can pierce. You don't need permission. You don't need saving. You don't need anyone to carry you. You have two choices: stay here and rot, or get up and fight like your life depends on it. Because it does. Nobody's coming to save you. It's on you. Every damn day. If you want, I can also make SEO optimized YouTube description, timestamps, hashtags, and keywords for this exact speech, so it's ready for upload. That way it'll hit like a Goggins talk, and also perform in search. Would you like me to prepare that? You keep sitting there thinking something's going to happen. Some miracle is going to show up and flip your whole life around. You tell yourself, once I get the right break, once the timing is right, once the stars line up, then I'll go all in. That's the biggest lie you're feeding yourself. There is no perfect timing. There is no right moment. There is no magic doorway waiting for you to walk through. Life isn't a movie where the hero shows up in the last scene to pull you out of the fire. Nobody's walking through that door. It's just you, and it's been you the whole damn time. You're waiting for the rescue team, but the rescue team is stuck in traffic because it's made up of the same people who are waiting to be rescued themselves. Everyone's busy fighting their own battles, carrying their own pain, trying to keep their own head above water. Nobody's got the energy to swim out into the storm and drag you to shore. That's your job. You're the lifeguard and the drowning man at the same time, and if you don't kick and fight, you sink. The problem is, we've been trained to look outward for salvation. We think if we just find the right coach, the right relationship, the right opportunity, suddenly we'll have the strength to do what we should have been doing all along. But when you put your power in someone else's hands, you hand over your entire life. You become a passenger in your own story, and passengers don't decide the destination. You've got to flip the switch and understand that self-rescue isn't a one-time event. It's a daily decision. Every morning you wake up and your mind will give you an out. It'll tell you you can rest today, that you've done enough, that you'll start tomorrow. That's the enemy talking. That's the voice trying to put you back to sleep while your life slips away one wasted day at a time. The rescue is in motion the second you stop waiting and start moving. And it doesn't matter if it's ugly, slow, or painful, you drag yourself through it anyway. You fight for every inch. You don't need to feel ready. You don't need to feel strong. You just need to move. Because movement builds momentum, and momentum builds belief. And here's the thing. Once you start pulling yourself out, you realize nobody else could have done it for you anyway. They could have thrown you a rope, but you'd still have to grab it. They could have given you advice, but you'd still have to act on it. They could have believed in you, but if you didn't believe in yourself, none of it would matter. That's the truth nobody wants to face. The only person who can save you is the one staring back in the mirror every morning. Life doesn't care about fair. It doesn't care about whether you deserved what happened to you or not. Bad things will hit you out of nowhere. People will lie to you, betray you, abandon you. Circumstances you didn't ask for will get dumped right in your lap. You'll get hit with pain, setbacks, and obstacles you didn't create. But here's the truth that most people run from. You're still responsible for what you do next. It might not be your fault, but it's still your problem. Most people waste years pointing fingers. They want to explain why they are the way they are. They want everyone to know how unfair life has been to them. They build their whole identity around their scars. That's why they stay stuck. They think ownership means admitting you did something wrong. Ownership isn't about guilt. It's about control. The second you accept that everything in your life is your responsibility, you take the power back. Because if it's your responsibility, you can do something about it. If you keep blaming, you're basically telling the world you're powerless. I've met people who've been through hell and still built themselves into something unstoppable. And I've met people who've had way less pain, but let it define and destroy them. The difference isn't the situation, it's the response. The ones who own everything refuse to wait for someone else to fix it. They don't waste time hoping life will suddenly get fair. They look at the mess, admit it's on them now, and start cleaning it up one piece at a time. When you take radical ownership, you stop letting your past run your future. You stop living in if-only mode. You stop expecting the world to give you back the time or energy it took from you. You face the reality that no one is coming with a magic wand. No one is going to apologize enough to make you whole again. No one is going to make sure you get what you deserve. The only person who can do that is you. And it starts with owning every damn part of your life. That means you stop saying, I can't because of what happened to me. And you start saying, I will in spite of what happened to me. You stop waiting for the perfect moment and you start creating it. You stop making excuses for your habits, your laziness, your comfort, and you start asking yourself every day, what am I doing right now to change this? You want freedom? It comes from owning your life so completely that nothing and no one can take it from you. You want power? It comes from taking every problem and saying, this is mine now, I'll handle it. You want peace? It comes from knowing you're not sitting around hoping someone else will come through for you. You're it. You always have been, and once you accept that, you stop waiting and you start moving. Comfort is the silent killer. It doesn't come at you like a punch in the face. It doesn't announce itself. It creeps in, soft and easy, whispering in your ear, telling you you've earned the right to take it easy. It makes you believe you're safe, that you can let your guard down, that tomorrow will be there waiting for you. And before you know it, you've stopped moving forward. You've stopped fighting. You've stopped living. Comfort will wrap you up so tight, you won't even notice you're suffocating until it's too late. The world doesn't care if you're comfortable. Life doesn't hand out trophies for sitting in the warm, safe zone. While you're sitting there telling yourself, you'll start next week, the clock is ticking, and someone out there is outworking you, outgrinding you, and getting ready to take everything you thought you wanted. The truth is, you can't fight for your life from a recliner. You can't chase your dreams lying in bed scrolling on your phone. You can't become unbreakable by doing what feels good all the time. Growth lives in discomfort. Strength is born in pain. Every time you choose comfort over challenge, you're telling yourself that staying the same is good enough. The problem with comfort is it convinces you that you've done enough. You ran once this week. Good job. Take the rest of the week off. You had one hard day at work. Treat yourself to 3 days of doing nothing. You start lowering the standard without even realizing it. And once you start lowering the standard, it's damn near impossible to pull it back up without a fight. You've got to catch yourself the moment you start taking the easy route and rip yourself out of it before it becomes who you are. The people who win in life are the ones who put themselves in the fire over and over again. They get comfortable being uncomfortable. They chase the struggle. They seek the pain, the exhaustion, the grind, because they know that's where the growth is hiding. Comfort is the enemy because it hides the truth from you. It keeps you from seeing how far you've fallen. It numbs you to the fact that you're slipping backwards while telling yourself you're fine. Every day you have to ask yourself, am I doing what's easy or am I doing what's necessary? Easy will keep you soft, unprepared, and forgettable. Necessary will break you down, tear you apart, and rebuild you into something that can't be stopped. The world won't hand you a lifeline when you've been sitting back, waiting for it. You've got to be ready to fight for your life every single day. And you can't do that if you're wrapped up in a blanket of comfort, hoping the storm will pass on its own. The storm doesn't pass. You outlast it by standing in it, freezing, hurting, and pushing forward anyway. Pain is the truth teller. It doesn't care about your feelings, your excuses, or your comfort zone. Pain shows up to test you. Most people see pain as the finish line, as the signal that it's time to back off, rest, and quit. But that's where they fail. Pain isn't telling you to stop. Pain is telling you you've just started to hit the real work. That's the moment you're breaking past the soft layers of who you were and stepping into who you're supposed to become. You've been lied to your whole life about pain. You were taught to avoid it, numb it, or hide from it. That's why most people never reach their full potential. They think pain is the enemy. The truth is, pain is the best coach you'll ever have. Pain is brutally honest. It exposes every weakness, every flaw, every hole in your armor. It tells you exactly where you're lacking. It doesn't sugarcoat anything. It points to the spot where you're fragile and says, right here. This is where you need to get stronger. But most people don't listen. They feel pain and immediately retreat. They want comfort back. They want safety. They want the easy road again. The second it starts to burn, they start negotiating with themselves. I've done enough for today. I'll come back tomorrow. I don't want to hurt myself. They don't realize they're hurting themselves more by stopping. Because every time you run from pain, you teach yourself that quitting is an option. You tell your body and your mind that the moment things get hard, you'll fold. Pain is the signal to push harder, not pull back. You think you're at your limit. Pain is showing you've got more in the tank. You think you're broken. Pain is showing you you're still standing. You think you're done. Pain is showing you that you've been operating at half speed your whole life. It's the doorway to a version of you that most people never meet, because they never hang around long enough in the discomfort to find it. When you're deep in it, lungs burning, legs screaming, heart pounding out of your chest, that's not the time to ease off. That's the time to lock in and say, this is exactly where I'm supposed to be. That's the moment you're actually growing. Comfort doesn't build calluses. Pain does. Comfort doesn't teach discipline. Pain does. Comfort doesn't prepare you for life's storms. Pain does. If you learn to see pain as the starting gun instead of the red light, you'll outlast and outfight everyone around you. Because while they're running away from the work, you'll be leaning into it. While they're backing down, you'll be digging in. Pain is not your enemy. It's the teacher you've been avoiding. And every lesson it has is the exact one you need to become unbreakable. Most people crumble because they only show up when someone's watching. They only go hard when there's an audience, when there's applause, when there's a pat on the back waiting at the finish line. But when it's just them in the dark with no eyes on them, they slack off, they cut corners, they let themselves off the hook. That's why they stay weak. You don't build mental armor in the spotlight. You build it in the shadows when nobody's keeping score but you. Callousing the mind is about doing the work so consistently that it stops being a choice and becomes who you are. It's about showing up every damn day, even when you don't feel like it, especially when you don't feel like it. People want to be strong when life gets hard, but they've never practiced being uncomfortable when they had the chance. Mental toughness isn't built in the middle of the storm. It's built in the quiet grind that nobody sees. When the storm hits, you're already ready. When you callous your hands, you don't do it by touching something soft once in a while. You do it by putting them through friction, pressure, and pain over and over again until they can handle anything. Your mind works the same way. Every day you dodge discomfort. Every day you make an excuse. Every day you choose the easy route. You're keeping your mind soft and fragile. And when something real comes along to hit you, you break. You've got to train your mind the same way you train your body. You push it past its limits. You drag it into situations it doesn't want to be in. You keep going long after it starts screaming to stop. And you do it again tomorrow, and the next day, and the day after that, because repetition is the only way you make toughness permanent. You can't fake mental calluses. You can't buy them. You can't wish them into existence. You earn them rep by rep, mile by mile, day by day. This is why showing up when no one's watching matters more than anything. If you only perform for an audience, you're not building discipline, you're performing for approval. But when it's just you and the work, no cameras, no compliments, no recognition, and you still go all in, that's when you're building something real. That's when you're forging steel inside your head. The world will test you when you least expect it. You won't get a warning. There won't be a countdown. One day life will hit you hard, and the only thing that's going to save you is the mental armor you've been building in silence. That's why you can't skip the grind. You can't hide from the hard days. You can't wait for the right mood or the perfect time. You show up every single day without fail until showing up isn't something you think about anymore. It's just what you do. Most people live in their heads. They think about what they want to do. They talk about it. They make plans, vision boards, and lists. They convince themselves that preparing is the same thing as moving. It's not. You can't think your way into a better life. You can't plan yourself into strength. You can't hope your way into discipline. The only thing that changes anything is action. Relentless, ugly, imperfect action. One hard step after another, no matter how small, no matter how slow, without ever stopping. The reason most people never make it is because they stop moving when things get messy. They want the path to be clear before they take a step. They want the timing to be perfect, the fear to be gone, the motivation to be high. That's why they never go anywhere. There's no such thing as the perfect moment. You move first and the clarity comes later. You put your feet on the road before you can see the whole map. You start swinging before you even know how many punches you'll have to throw. Relentless action means you don't give yourself the option to wait. You don't waste time asking, should I? You ask, what's next? You stop overthinking and start outworking. You stop trying to predict the outcome and you focus on creating it. You keep moving even when it feels pointless, because movement builds momentum and momentum builds results. And once momentum is on your side, everything starts to shift. There will be days when every part of you wants to stop. Your body will ache. Your mind will be screaming at you to quit. The progress will feel too slow to matter. That's when you double down. That's when you remind yourself that this isn't about speed. It's about direction. If you keep putting one foot in front of the other, you will get there. If you stop, you guarantee you won't. You can't wait to feel ready. You can't wait to feel strong. You can't wait for the conditions to be perfect. You take the step, then you take another and another until moving becomes who you are. You become the kind of person who doesn't pause, doesn't stall, doesn't wait for permission. You just keep going, regardless of the weather, the pain, the setbacks, or the failures. Action is the cure to fear. Action is the cure to doubt. Action is the cure to every excuse you've ever told yourself. Thinking won't get you out of the hole you're in. Hoping won't build the life you want. Planning won't make you strong. Only doing will. And the second you stop doing, you start dying. That's why you move. That's why you keep moving. One hard step after another. Forever nobody's coming to save you. Every single problem, every obstacle, every scar you carry, it's on you to face it. You can't wait for miracles, for lifelines, for perfect timing. You take radical ownership over everything in your life, even the things that weren't your fault, because that's where your power is. You kill comfort before it kills you, because growth only lives in discomfort. You embrace pain not as an excuse to quit, but as a teacher that will forge you into something unbreakable. You callous your mind in the dark when nobody's watching, because that's where real strength is born. And you move, always move, one hard step after another, no matter how tired, no matter how slow, no matter how heavy it gets. This fight is yours and yours alone. And if you want to win, you've got to show up for it every damn day. Nobody is coming to save you. Every single problem, every obstacle, every scar you carry, it's on you to face it. You can't wait for miracles, for lifelines, for perfect timing. You take radical ownership over everything in your life, even the things that weren't your fault, because that's where your power is. You kill comfort before it kills you, because growth only lives in discomfort. You embrace pain not as an excuse to quit, but as the teacher that will forge you into something unbreakable. You callous your mind in the dark when nobody's watching, because that's where real strength is born. And you move, always move, one hard step after another, no matter how tired, no matter how slow, no matter how heavy it gets. This fight is yours and yours alone. And if you want to win, you've got to show up for it every damn day.